Welcome to the FTG ACARS video tutorial. Today I'm going to help new pilots get started with FTG ACARS, what you need to do to download the program, install it, and set it up for your first flight with Flying Tigers Group. So let's get started. Okay, first off, all you need to do is log into your virtual airline. These are the airlines in our group. So whatever you're a member of, in fact, you can log into any of them with your pilot ID. It doesn't make any difference. So today I'm going to use Delta, for example. As you can see, I'm already logged in. And then right here, right above flight training, you can see that link to FTG ACARS. Click on that. And this is the main page for FTG ACARS. Here you have some tutorials. You have to have FSUIPC installed. This is the link to go and download it. You can have the free version or the pay version, and then there's some other additional crew sounds you can download as well. And there's also a link to the support forum. Right here, this is the main download for the program. It comes in a zip file. Just download that, and then you can install the contents of that zip file in wherever you want. I have my own flight sim hard drive, and I installed all the contents from the zip file in a folder called FTG ACARS. And right in here you can see it. This is all it is, about 8 megabytes, the entire size of the download. FTG ACARS, that's the main program. Updater, this program you can run it if you need to update FTG ACARS to the latest version. Logbook viewer, you can use this program to see all the flights you've submitted. If there's a goof up in FTG ACARS and something was off, you can change some of the flight information and resubmit the flight from Logbook Viewer. All you have to do is log in with your pilot ID, password, log in, and then you click on Resend. If there's ever some kind of error in FTG ACARS and you want to post the error on the forum to get some help, this is really helpful, especially for all the management. This actually allows us to see what's going on with the FTG ACARS program. So just copy all the contents from this errorlog.txt, and it's right in the system folder of FTG ACARS or where you have it installed. It's right in system errorlog.txt, and just copy that and paste it in your forum and the message that you post over there with the error, and that's it. So basically that's it. It's installed and FTG ACARS is ready to go. So before you do a flight, obviously you want to look up the real-world flight schedules of whatever flight you're interested in flying. So today I'm going to do a flight for Delta Airlines, and we're going to look up the schedules using our own schedule, our own search engine. So as you can see, this is our search engine, and you can look up schedules for all the airlines in our group, affiliates, also members of the One World or Star Alliance, etc. You can look up historic flights and also freighter flights, but we're going to do a regular passenger flight. So today I'm going to do Bogota, Colombia to Atlanta, and you click on search. It should bring up the route. Here it is, and to look up the actual schedule, all you have to do is click on this little clock icon, and it'll bring up the actual schedule. So this has all the basic information that we need. So what I'm going to do is take note of all this schedule information. So this is Delta Flight 444 from Bogota, Colombia to Atlanta. And we depart at 10:28 in the morning, and we arrive at 15:33. We're going to use a 737-700. And the flight is a bit over 5 hours. One other thing that I like to add information-wise in the FTG ACARS is the aircraft registration number. So one site I like to use to look up actual aircraft that have been used on any given route is this site right here. It's called flight24.com. So it has many flights. It's not gonna have registration numbers for every single route that's been flown in the last whatever. So but luckily this flight is in the database, so we'll look it up. And the last known aircraft to actually fly this route is November 309 Delta Echo. So I'll take note of that. 309 Delta Echo. Alright, so this has basic information that we need so we can manually input this data into FTG ACARS before we start the program and it starts recording the flight and everything. So that's all we need. Okay, I already created the flight plan. I use a program called FS Builder. You can use whatever you want. FS Commander. There's a ton of different programs. And I'm going to use the PMDG 737NG. So I already have that loaded up. We're already sitting at the gate. We have the fuel loaded. We have the passengers loaded. And usually what I do is, for example, this flight, our departure is scheduled at 10:28. This is local time. Always use local time for all your flights. It's simple. There's no Zulu, there's no conversion, none of that. Okay. So this flight, the local departure time is 10:28. So what I usually do when I launch Flight Simulator is, like, for example, in this case, I would start the flight in Flight Simulator with a local time of maybe 10:18. That'll give me 10 minutes to do all the pre-flight and do all the checks, you know, load up the FMS and do everything I need to do. And then when I'm done doing that, it's going to be near, you know, scheduled departure time, and I'm ready to push back. So in this case, I'm all loaded up. I got my parking brake is on. This is super important. You have to, before you start FTG ACARS, you want your parking brake to be set on. And for realism, it's better to have your engines turned off, and you'll start your engines when you're, you know, during pushback or when you have clearance to start engines. So as you can see here, parking brake is on, engines are off, and probably like 2 minutes before our scheduled departure time, I'll actually open FTG ACARS. The first screen you'll see is the login screen. So for example, all you need to do is put in your pilot ID, mine is CX001, and then the same password you use to log into the website. And you can also store the login information as well. And then you click on login. If everything's correct, it'll log you in, and this is the pre-flight FTG ACARS screen. And by default, another thing is, if you want to see your flight live on a map, you want to turn on live ACARS. Once it's green, that means it's turned on. Same thing for passenger announcements. You can turn it off or turn it on. I have it turned off because I don't want to be hearing the announcements during this demo, but I usually have them on anyway. So the 4 things you need to input, manually type in the FTG ACARS before you get started, is the airport departure code, and our arrival is Atlanta, KATL. Okay, that's done. It should automatically download the time zones for the airports from the server. If for some reason you want to make sure they're correct, if for some reason they're not correct, you can just manually type in the correct code and off you go. That's all there is to it. So these are fine, so I don't need to change them. Actually, it's -05. Okay. Next thing you need to input is the aircraft code. So in this case, 737-700. Now, these are FTG aircraft codes. Do not input IATA codes or ICAO codes. Okay. FTG aircraft codes, you can look them up in the back of the operations manual. So this is the operations manual. All you have to do is go all the way to the back, and the codes are all subdivided by manufacturer. So say for example you're flying the Airbus A320. You look up the FTG code, okay? The A320-200, the FTG code is 320-200, and that's all you need to input into FTG ACARS, okay, is the FTG code. Okay, there's no A320-200 or any other derivation. It's just 320-200. This flight is just a 737-700, so I put in the FTG aircraft code, which is 737-700. Exactly, you see it. You don't put in 73W or B737, none of that. Just the FTG code, and that's it. Okay, back to the flight. Now, the last thing you need to input that's mandatory is the flight number. And as you can see here, we use the 2-letter code for the airline. Okay. VATSIM and IVAO, you use the 3-letter code for the airline. FTG, just use the 2-letter code, okay? Do not put DAL, you know, whatever. Or another thing is, don't put a space between the airline code and the flight number, okay? Do not put zeros in front of the flight number, okay? Just airline code and then the flight number. That's it. And also, I like to put in the aircraft registration code, as we just looked it up, so it adds some realism. And that's it. We're ready to go. All you need to do now to, you know, launch the program is click connect to FS, and boom, it'll say connected. Okay. And once that's done, hopefully you launch that maybe a couple minutes or a minute before, you know, pushback time, and if say it's reached that time, right? So all you have to do, like any other regular pushback, you can just forget about FTG ACARS until you arrive at your destination airport. So like any, you know, you're at the gate, you release parking brake, and you start pushback. That'll tell FTG ACARS that you're pushing back. It's time to turn on. And what it's going to do is it's going to record the exact time that you're pushing back, and now it's going to start recording all the information it needs to be able to send in the flight report once you're done with a flight. Okay, so we're pushing back. Everything's great. You know, now it's start the engines and all that. Okay, great. Now let's say I arrived in Atlanta and I'm rolling into the gate, right? And here I am at the gate, and we're done with the flight. All I have to do now to tell FTG ACARS that we're done with the flight and to stop recording is I set the parking brake, turn that on. Parking brake is on, and then what I do is turn off all the engines. And by turning off all the engines, it's cut off the fuel to all the engines. So most cockpit panels should have the engine, you know, throttle quadrant in there, and just shut off the gas for all the engines. And that's when FTG ACARS knows the flight's completely over and you're done. So what it'll show you are all the times of your departure, your block out time, your block off time, your block on time, and your block in time. It'll show you the total time flown, gate to gate, the time you're in the air. It'll show you your landing speed. It'll show you the speed, your vertical touchdown velocity, and all that. And then all you have to do is click on the next screen, and then right there you'll see a little send button. You can add some comments if you want. Just type in you know, like that. Click on comments, and all you need to do is click send. Just select the line select key right next to send, and off it'll go to the server. You know, and it'll give you a confirmation. You know, pirate sent successfully or something like that. Once that's done, you can confirm if the flight was sent or not right in your pilot logbook. It's right in Crew Center. You go to pilot logbook, and the top one will be the last flight. So it should be right there, and there it is. And if you have any problems with FTG ACARS and you need help or whatever, just go into the forum, register on the forum, then you can get in. Right under FTG Help Desk, there's an FTG ACARS support forum. You just go in there, and you can post your problem. Like I already mentioned, you know, please copy paste whatever error log you have in here. Just copy everything in there and post it in the forum, and then that way we can see what's going on with the program. Otherwise, you should be good to go. That's all there is to it, really, with FTG ACARS. So if you need any help, send us an email, write us on the forum, and we'll be glad to help. Okay, that's it. Hope you have fun with FTG and FTG ACARS.